Good morning. I'd like to call this meeting to order for the Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors session, June 30th, 2026. Roll call, please, Ms. Showalter.
Schwartz.
Here.
Hall. Kurtenbach.
Here.
Brandt.
Here.
Leland.
Here. Would everyone please join us for a moment of silence to reflect on our actions this morning? Thank you. Would you please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 1 is the agenda received as proposed or amended.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item 2, public comments. Is there anyone in the audience today that has something they'd like to comment on that is not on today's agenda? Please, if you'll come to the podium and give your name and address and your concern.
Morning. My name is Dan Putbreeze. I live at 1443 North Raymond Road in Blackhawk County, just outside of Dewar. The reason I'm here today is to request Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors adopt a dangerous dog ordinance. Both the city of Waterloo and Cedar Falls have one. Blackhawk County does not. Approximately 10 to 12 years ago, I started having issues with the neighbor's dog coming and what I'd refer to as buzzing my dog, where he would come on my property and chase my dog. And I thought it was kind of cute at first until I cut my dog's hair, and then I saw all the bite marks on the dog. So at that time, I started approaching the neighbor and asking him to keep his dog off my property. So it didn't really produce many results. I've learned to avoid confrontations on my property with the neighbor's dog by when I hear his dog coming towards my property, it usually lets out a bark on the lot in between his house and my property. I stop what I'm doing, I get my dogs and I take them in the house. And I did that for a number of years. And I wasn't quick enough one day in 2022, and the dog started to buzz my dog again on my property and grab my dog's tail, which resulted in me having to have my dog's tail amputated. So, I mean, it's pretty traumatic to see that happen to your pet. And of course I was excited when I addressed the dog owner on it. He was less than accepting ownership for what had happened on my property. So I called the Blackhawk County Sheriff. They came out, they talked to him. At that time, they told me there's really nothing they can do because there's no county ordinance regarding issues like that. So, and it's not like the guy's not trying to keep his dog on his property. I'll give him that. He bought a GPS collar, and it got better for probably about 6 months, and then I noticed his dog up on my property chasing my dog again, and I sent him a text. He replied to the text and told me that his GPS collar battery had died. Wouldn't happen again, apologized. Okay, I can work with that. And probably about 4 months later, same issue. I sent him a text and said, hey, your dog's back up, it's been pretty quiet. Can you look into it? And I never got a response. I'm thinking, okay. I see his dog on my property a few times in between. I avoid any type of issue by getting my dog in my house. And then February this year, his dog came onto my property, and within 30 seconds, he had tore open the side of my dog, requiring 8 stitches. Again, file a case number with the sheriff. There's nothing they can do. There's no ordinance in Blackhawk County regarding dangerous dogs. So the sheriff calls me as I'm taking my dog to get anesthesia to be stitched to that they had accepted responsibility for it. They said that their system had died and they hadn't replaced it. So he went out and purchased a new system, and at least I found this out after this incident that took place about 2 weeks ago, where his dog came on and within 30 seconds attacked my dog again. I couldn't get my dog in the house in time, and it came up behind him and bit him in the rear as my dog was retreating to go in the house. Puncture wound. Another trip to the vet. Talked to Blackhawk County Sheriff about it, and they're kind of frustrated with it also because there's nothing they can do. They go and they get, my understanding is, a rabies vaccination, proof of vaccination, and that's all they can do. And then fine them if they don't have it. Well, that's not acceptable to me. It's just unacceptable. So I need to figure out what I have to do. I'm justified to use lethal force to protect my dog from their neighbor's dog. But what kind of can of worms is that going to open up if I do that? I don't want to have to do that. But my hands are tied until there's a policy that deals with dangerous dogs in Blackhawk County, Iowa.
This was the first I've heard of this situation from you or anyone else of something like this. It's horrendous to think someone's a pet, I think, really. Or does this animal roams freely?
No, they try to control it. Like I said, he's trying to keep the dog on his property. He's seen the dog attack my dog in the past. He knows it happens. But now I don't know if insurance is cracking down on him. He's denying that these incidents are taking place now. So the sheriff told me, well, you know, if you get a can of bear spray and spray the dog with bear spray, he's probably not going to come back again. And I'm thinking, you know, I really don't want to have to roam my backyard with a can of bear spray in the state of Iowa to protect myself from a dog. His other advice is you can install a security camera and film it. Okay, so I film it. I got proof of it happening. My word of witness isn't enough that it happened on my property. I mean, okay, I have proof. What do I do with it? Nothing I can do.
Has the Humane Society been involved at all? Because we know we have a contract with them for rural services.
I tried to go through the Humane Society and they said it's Blackhawk County.
Well, it is Blackhawk County. We have a contract with them, though, for our services in rural areas. And this kind of a situation seems like it would be kind of like biting and that type of thing. But I said, I also know state code has kind of been the, what is it? And I don't mean to put you on the spot, Heather, but I was going to say like state code 351 or something like that. It's always our fallback for counties typically. I know cities have different ordinances, but for this kind of situation just seems terrible to even, and you mentioned for 12 years having to put up with this. Yeah, certainly. I don't know what everybody else's thoughts are, but we need a little more information, not from you. To me, it's just seeing where we're at with something like this in this situation, because I was thinking when Justin was going out to see you or talk with you or whatever, this very much could be a law enforcement issue because something needs to be done without knowing much more detail. But yes, now that as you're explaining it to this other dog owner is been responsible for the services needed for your dog to be, I suppose, the medical attention.
He paid part of the first bill, yes, and then the second bill, no, and he says he's not paying it because I don't have proof that it happened. He's done a complete 180. He's not cooperative anymore to neither the sheriffs nor myself. I'm done talking with him.
And I guess enforcement was kind of my first concern when I first heard of this, was like, okay, how do we enforce that? If you have a dog doing this and coming out to someone's property, not as many times, I didn't realize it was over and over again. But this is happening, and for years seems like unreal. But, yeah, there's obviously more to the story, but I didn't know if there's anything you wanted to share as well. But it sounds like we have a good recall of what's occurred from your side of it. Like I said, we have to verify some information, I think, on something so serious as this, because to me, it's very serious. And is this a dog that's attacked people or any other animals?
No.
Not at all, just your
Nope,
dog?
Just the dog.
And the one, nobody had, okay.
Not that I'm aware of. I
mean-
haven't, yeah.
And this buzzing that you say he does?
I mean, I've had other injuries to my dogs in the past that are similar to what I'm seeing now, and I'm not so sure that this dog didn't create those, but I didn't witness them happening, so I don't know. I just took them and got them stitched up. And there's not a lot of barbed wire around my place anymore where a dog gets hung up on stuff, so that's,
So, Chapter 351 does address impoundment of dogs that are running at large without a rabies tag. So my guess is this dog does have a rabies tag.
I haven't heard back from the sheriff.
That would be where your contract with the Humane Society would be. They would have a requirement to receive that dog in the event that the sheriff's department chose to impound the dog after it was running at large and didn't have it. So I was just doing a quick look on the code, but it is both. It has to be without a rabies tag and running at large for 351 to apply. Most municipalities do have dangerous dog ordinances. Virtually every city in and around Northeast Iowa has dangerous dog ordinances that require that if a dog bites or attacks a human or another dog, that it can be impounded by the local authority. The big fight a number of years ago was, inherently dangerous dogs, Staffordshire Terriers and the like. That's a controversial topic in terms of municipalities regulating control of ownership of just those dogs specifically because of their somewhat propensity to cause problems. But I think what the sheriff's department was getting at in talking with him was we don't have a dangerous animal ordinance per se. You could pass one. There's no state code provision that prohibits you from doing so. You can regulate what is not otherwise regulated. And I don't think the state code has what I would call a dangerous animal impounding solution. They only have this rabies and running at large solution under 351. That's my very quick answer to you on that one.
Thank you very much. And that's what I thought too. And we need to review our contract with the Cedar Bend Humane Society, because I was thinking too, we have some leeway in that for these type of situations. It's much like a code enforcement issue. It's kind of when you've got someone that's violating and violating and violating, something needs to be done. They need to address it and should have, and to me, that's terrible. But then it's our job to really look into it. If there is or isn't something to resolve, we can do. That's ridiculous, but
Problem there, Linda, is even the Humane Society can't enforce anything more than what we would have in
yeah, but I think our
ordinance.
contract has things, I was gonna say, in place with them for this type of a situation, and that's what I said. I'd like
Okay.
Mike or Heather or whatever to look into that for us, but it's just like where we need to start, but I'm sorry that you've had to live through this
Well, if you
kind of a
need any other
situation.
information from me, please let me know. I'm
Well, I'd like to call
not gonna end
Christie.
here. I need to be able to enjoy my property
Oh, for sure.
and
And your pets,
bottom line.
yeah. Oh,
Dan,
well,
thank you for coming today.
Very
and
much.
I
letting us
appreciate the
know.
opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry you had to come here.
I'll just add a couple things. So when Dan and I spoke last week, I told him the best chance of getting the board's attention if he wants an ordinance is to show up. Phone calls and emails can sometimes fall to the wayside. So I forwarded you guys the email that he sent with the calls for service with the sheriff's office cited on there for reference. But my opinion to him was it would be pretty simple to get an ordinance passed, and we could work through that once Mike came back. We can have, if that's a work session or something, but he cited a number of instances. I know two people out there who their neighbor's dog has attacked their animals, chickens, peacocks, a number of times, which only means there's countless others that just haven't gotten onto our radar. So I would definitely be supportive of exploring creating an ordinance.
Jason, I didn't want to put you on the spot. Is there anything you'd like to comment or any thoughts on this, or?
No, it basically we've been dealing with that type of stuff for years, and
Do you see this ordinance though as helping? Does it give you enough teeth to do something about it? I guess
It depends
it'll
on what,
depend on
depends on
what
what
we
it says
want
and
to
what you
do.
guys, yeah. If there's something that's enforceable, if it's, just words and then we have to go out there and explain that
To the
there's nothing
owners.
we can do or nothing that we can do further. That's the hard part about what we have right now is, basically they're trying to give them solutions where like, when they said videotape and stuff like that, I'm assuming they just meant that way you can have evidence that this has occurred and this is the dog that's doing it, rather than maybe they got, if you have more than one dog, the neighbor could say, well, their dogs were fighting, it was their two dogs, so.
There's
just-
varying tiers that you can put in the ordinance as well in terms of the nature of the significant injury and whether or not that would require an immediate impoundment and seizure of the dog, which you can do depending on the severity of the injury. Most of the time, for the small cities that I prosecute these violations for, it's a dog at large first and they end up with a civil fine. And then it's usually the second time around that I'm asking for seizure of the dog because it's done something that's required stitches or whatnot. But I've seen some really bad cases where they've full-blown killed another animal. And in those, I ask for immediate, that's it, this dog is not gonna stay anymore. So you have different options in the ordinance is what I'm saying.
Great, yeah, thank you. And I'm well aware, I know the cities do this so much, but I think the counties probably don't as far overall as that kind of a job, so.
Yep. And
It's needed, it's
you got more
needed.
space in counties, your dogs are roaming, they're not necessarily as close together, so I think that's probably where it's an area that might be missing a little bit because it's more rural and not urban.
No? It's something that sounds like it needs to be at least addressed. So thank you. Thanks, Jason. Anyone else that would like to speak during public comments for something not on today's agenda? Anyone online? Well, item number 3 is a presentation from Grow Cedar Valley, and I know Katie Susong, President and CEO, is here with others to give us a report, I think, on some of the activities and things that have occurred. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for time this morning. I am Katie Susong. I am CEO of Grow Cedar Valley, and I did bring some team members today. And really what we're going to do is just provide an overview of some of the activities that we've undertaken in the last year related to economic development, advocacy, and talent attraction and retention. So I'm going to kick us off. Adrienne Miller is our Director of Business Services and Advocacy, and unfortunately she had another event that she had to be at this morning. So I'm going to cover her update, and then we've got Lisa Skubel talking about economic development and Steph Detweiler who will give the talent report. So talking specifically about business retention and expansion, that's the work that we're doing here locally to support existing businesses. We completed 61 BRE visits in the last year, meaning we met with 61 different businesses representing 6,945 employees here in the Cedar Valley. Of the companies we met with, we identified 9 manufacturing businesses that are considering expanding or exploring expansion in the coming years. This would mean physical building expansions as well as adding to their teams or potentially adding new equipment, investing in equipment. When we have our BRE visits, what we're doing is we're connecting with businesses and we're garnering information from them on the things that they're contending with, things that are good, but also challenges that they're facing. And really, our goal in those visits is to understand those challenges and to connect them with resources, incentives, grants, programs that essentially could help them continue to thrive as a business here in our community. One thing that we've started doing in the last couple of years is we've started doing small business meetings. Traditionally, we've done our BREs with our large-scale manufacturers, food processors, bigger businesses here in the Cedar Valley. But more recently, we feel like it's important to meet with our smaller businesses to understand the challenges that they're facing as well. And a lot of the resources that we're providing in those conversations are more geared towards entrepreneurism, making sure that they have what they need to grow their business. One thing that's important to note about what we do with this BRE data is we certainly use it to inform what we're doing and the services that we offer locally, but we do also share all of the information in aggregate anonymously with the state, really to help inform the incentives that they're offering at the state level. Because when they hear from enough of us that there are common challenges or opportunities for a new kind of support, that matters. In terms of advocacy, we develop an annual legislative agenda each year. And for Grow Cedar Valley, those legislative priorities really fall in three buckets. It's economic development, it's community development, and then workforce development. So we work with a group of volunteers to develop that legislative agenda. It's representatives from our local government, it's business leaders, it's a variety of people that have an interest in government affairs. So our current priorities really are going to be and continue to be shaped by our Count Me In population study. And I know you have varying levels of familiarity with that. I would encourage, if you've not had a chance to go to our website, we've got the full study there. We actually have the recording from our event in January, so you can go and watch our consultant present on everything that's there. It just gives you some good insight into what that study is all about. When we talk about Count Me In, that really is what is going to drive our work for the foreseeable future. As we're building out our next 5-year strategic plan, the framework really is entirely around Count Me In. And it's about building regional identity. It's around creating innovation in our manufacturing and technology and healthcare industries to make sure that we've got good jobs, paying high wages, and it's about creating careers worth staying for. We want to make sure that we're retaining people here in the Cedar Valley to make sure we've got workforce to meet our needs. We, as part of our advocacy efforts, do an event during the legislative session once a month called Friday Forum. And those events, I know I've seen you at some of them, but those events are an opportunity for us to bring in a local legislator, and we really kind of look throughout the area to bring people in. They typically provide an update, and then it's an opportunity for people to ask questions. It is a smaller group setting, although it has grown quite a bit. Historically, we had maybe 10 to 15 people attending those Friday Forum legislative events. We've had more than 30.
The study is called Count Me In.
Sorry.
Found it.
Here we go.
Everybody
Love hearing my
listen in.
voice out loud. But at any rate, so we have seen a lot of growth in that event. We're averaging at least 30 people now, upwards of 50 and 60, excuse me, at some of these. So we had 378 attendees attend our Friday forums this year, as well as our 2 legislative receptions. So I want to talk a little bit about just one new legislative reception that we launched this year. We did it in partnership with Ames and Iowa City, so really a Regents community legislative reception. We hosted it down in Des Moines, and so we were able to get all of our legislators from our different areas to come and participate in that. And honestly, I was there and was really proud of the Cedar Valley because we had about 100 attendees and over 40 were from this area. So it was really cool to see people make the trip to Des Moines to engage in those conversations. So lots of good things happening with both BRE and advocacy as we look to the year ahead. But at this point, I will hand it over to Lisa Skubal to talk a little bit about our business development efforts.
Good morning, Lisa Skubal, Vice President of Economic Development. Thank you for your continued partnership and investment in economic development efforts that support business growth, job creation, and quality of life throughout the county. Economic development is often measured by projects that ultimately locate in our community and county. Much of that work occurs long before a company makes a decision. In fact, I was just talking to Richie about that before we started this morning. Much of our effort is focused on relationship building, business attraction, supporting our existing employers, as mentioned earlier, and positioning our communities to compete for future investment. Over the past year, Grow Cedar Valley has continued an aggressive business attraction strategy. This spring, we launched a global lead generation initiative focusing on industry sectors identified through the Count Me In population study. Those sectors include advanced manufacturing, food processing, ag, biotech, software development, and emerging technologies. As part of that effort, more than 2,000 companies globally were contacted through direct outreach, resulting in multiple meetings with companies virtually, evaluating future expansion opportunities. While current economic conditions have caused some companies to proceed cautiously, we continue to see strong interest in manufacturing, food processing, ag tech, and international investments in particular. We also participated in the Site Selection Guild's annual conference to reconnect and make new connections with 60 leading site selection consultants globally who advise companies on location decisions. We participated in Select USA Investment Summit, that's Foreign Direct Investment, where GCV staff had eight pre-scheduled meetings with international firms considering expansion in the U.S. at some point. Both the Guild and the Select USA Summit are important because they often serve as a first step in attracting future projects and investment into our county. During the last 6 months, we had 12 new projects representing approximately $224 million in potential new capital investment for our area and 745 jobs. This fiscal year total, and we share the same fiscal year as the county, we had a total of 31 new projects representing a total capital investment of just over $1 billion. Well, not every project ultimately results in announcement. We continue to see encouraging momentum within our project pipeline. During the current fiscal year, we hosted 9 prospect site visits from companies evaluating potential expansion opportunities. That's significantly more than we do in any one given year. So while companies are hesitant, they are still proceeding with plans, whether they're long-term or short-term, in site selection. More important, 2 of those projects have returned for additional visits and expanded their evaluation team to include additional C-level executives and other key decision makers. Repeat visits are often one of the strongest indicators that a company is continuing to move forward through its site selection process and taking a serious look at a community or a county. In December, Selgenis from Limerick, Ireland, they're involved in agricultural testing and analysis for growers, announced their formal location with their first U.S. facility here in Waterloo. And already they're seeing much greater growth opportunities stateside. It is encouraging, and we're going to enjoy watching them continue to expand as they make a real nice footprint here in the United States. Over the next couple of months, we plan to announce a second international location. Stay tuned for that. And do have a plan to return visit by another international company this summer that continues to narrow down site candidates and includes further evaluation of the sites we initially proposed to them several months ago when they visited us for the first time. Our current strategic plan is based on 5 years, and we're just completing our 4th year, ending June 30th, which is today. But economic development can't be soundly gauged in 1 year increment. But when we look back at our first 3 years of our 5-year plan, what we realized is 253 direct new jobs created from 10 projects that Girl Cedar Valley assisted and was involved in. Over the next 10 years, the expected total economic input from these projects will be somewhere around $1.4 billion. $360 million in direct capital investment occurred from those 10 projects. And 1,378,300 million square feet have been constructed, new construction has occurred or is occurring right now. And $12.5 million in direct household annual earnings. That's all in Black Hawk County from these projects. In that, if you're thinking about it, this is net after incentives. So it's a true net investment into the county, in our communities. Just last week, Girl Cedar Valley was able to help both South Waterloo Business Park and Cedar Falls West Viking Road Industrial Park receive a platinum level designation with the Site Selection Guild's new nationwide shovel-ready site program. Nowhere in the nation, at least in my career, has anyone taken something on such large on a national scale, but Site Selection Guild did because they saw a need to ensure that there are shovel-ready sites for their consultants or for their clients. The platinum designation is the highest allowed by the Guild program, and our 2 parks represent only 6 across the U.S. at this level. So it really is something special. But why is this so important? Receiving platinum designation will elevate these parks even further by driving additional opportunity domestically, internationally. Speed to market has become increasingly critical as companies navigate a rapidly changing global economy and compressed project timelines. So for these consultants and companies to know that these sites are at a platinum level, that means that they're ready to go right now. There's no encumbrance for development, and it's just a matter of the company and the consultant doing their evaluation on the marketplace, geographically, and the workforce. So the only things that they really need to do to get them going, everything else has been checked. The boxes have been checked. Beyond business attraction, we continue to support entrepreneurship and small business growth. Planning is underway for the second annual Cedar Valley Small Business Summit, scheduled for November 12th at BNView Event Center in Cedar Falls. Interest has been really strong this year by individuals wanting to speak at this event. We had 30 proposals received and have completed all the review process and have the staff led by Erin from our office. She's put together the agenda. So much of the heavy work has been already done, and we're here sitting in June, and the event's not until November. Our plans are to continue to scale this summit as long as the need and demand exists. So we're not just looking at it just servicing Black Hawk County, but Northeast Iowa, maybe become recognized someday as a statewide event, go-to event for small businesses as well. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Detweiler, Director of Talent and Workforce for Gross Cedar Valley. As Katie and Lisa mentioned, a lot of the things that like Adrienne hears about in her BRE visits and what Lisa hears from potential businesses wanting to locate here is all about talent and workforce. So Adrienne, a lot of the challenges, businesses have is, do they have the right people, the right skills that they're looking for here in this area? And our companies wanting to locate here really want to know if we have the workforce ready to do the jobs that they need. And so that's why talent and workforce is so important for us at Gross Cedar Valley. When you think about it in its name, what we mean by it is we're trying to attract talent to this area, so get people to move here for the jobs that we have. We're trying to retain the talent that we already have here. And then we're also trying to work with our schools, our organizations to build the workforce pipeline for the jobs that we have in the future here too. So that's really what our focus is at Gross Cedar Valley. And we do that in 4 different ways that I'll mention today. The first one is programs and initiatives. So that's one of the areas that we focus on. The second one is data and tools that we also have. The third is networks and associations. And then the fourth is just the ecosystem that I mentioned. So I'll touch on just a few things within each of those. As for programs and initiatives, Katie really talked about this with the Count Me In population study. But that was a big undertaking for us for this last year, and our consultants finished their work in January. Like she mentioned, you might have been at our presentation at the Gallagher, where we had about 500 people in attendance. Since then, Katie and I have done about 20 presentations with groups in this community interested in learning more and how do they get involved. We have about 90 action items that have come from that study that we have already decided which ones we're going to implement into our next year of work at Gross Cedar Valley. So just lots of important things and findings that have come out of that study, and that's really been a huge focus for our work. Just a couple other things to highlight for programs and initiatives. So Welcome to the Valley is an event that we created this last year. And really that was based on feedback we've heard in this community where we need to have some sort of event or program that helps connect newcomers to each other or to this community a little bit more. So we had over 60 people in attendance. Our goal was 25, so we well exceeded that. And these were people that had moved here for jobs or started their own businesses here locally and just had really great things to say about this event. So much that we decided to do another one here in July. So we'll hold a second one for newcomers that have been here for about 2 to 3 years. Intern Connect is another one where we're just trying to keep interns here. So when they they go through internships over the summer at our businesses here. We want to make sure they have a great experience, that they connect to our community, that they connect to other interns, so that when they graduate from college, they might want to accept a job here. So that's been another successful program for us. And then the last one I'll mention about that is CVLI, so Cedar Valley Leadership Institute. It's been a program that Grow Cedar Valley has done for about 40 years now. And it's just continued to be a huge success for us. It's about 40 to 45 people that participate each year. They get more ingrained in the community. They learn about all of the different challenges that we face, all the different great things about this community. And then the goal is really for them to become community advocates, community leaders after they leave this program. It's an 8-month program. And we are currently taking applications for July, or for the next cohort here. As for data attraction and tools, the big one I want to highlight is our Live the Valley kind of platform. So Live the Valley is just an opportunity for people to see what life is like here in the Cedar Valley. And so we have a website, which is beautiful. It's just gotten redone and launched in January. And since then, that website has seen a 3,000% increase in traffic, which is huge. We also have taken over the events page that used to be operated by Experience Waterloo and Cedar Falls Tourism, and it's now on that website. And so I highly encourage anybody to check it out. I look at it all the time, even for things to do with my family. And that's contributed to the success of it, I would say, too. But even just our social media channels with Live the Valley, we really try to promote what life looks like here. And our marketing director has done an awesome job with that. We also have our podcast that we've started this year. Katie's now a podcast host, and she's done about 14 episodes. It's a really cool way to hear about some things going on in the community that are more behind the scenes that people might not know about. So I encourage you to check that out too. And then other data and research efforts that we do at Grow Cedar Valley. So we have partnered with the Cedar Valley Regional Partnership, and we have in the past done a wage and benefit survey. This year we just did a benefit survey based on feedback from our HR professional group. And we just completed that with UNI's Institute for Decision Making. They helped us with that. So that is something that we offer to our employers, but also businesses interested in locating here, as a great tool to kind of see what is competitive when it comes to pay and benefits for people. The third one is Cedar Valley, or Grow Cedar Valley Association and Networks. And so Kelsey Kunkel, she's my colleague, she couldn't be here today, and she's really kind of led some of these efforts, but I'll just briefly highlight them. A couple of groups and organizations we have now brought under Grow Cedar Valley's umbrella, and it's such a good thing because it's helped with the sustainability of some really important organizations that might not have made it, they might not have been successful if we didn't kind of step in and say, like, we're going to take charge with this. One of them is Cedar Valley Young Professionals, which is just a hugely important thing to keep young professionals in this area, keep them connected to each other. So it's been a little bit over a year. We currently have about 116 members in that group, which is awesome. We've had tons of different ways for people to engage, whether it's socials or Wake Up YPs, which is kind of a professional development opportunity. They can volunteer with each other. There's wellness hours. So just a lot of different things for different types of people. And that is kind of led by Kelsey with the advisory council of about 9 people, and then a planning and operations committee as well. The other one is a little bit newer, Cedar Valley Manufacturing Association. So that's a group that's been around since 1977, and it kind of struggled over COVID times, just like a lot of things. And Grow Cedar Valley kind of stepped in and started supporting convening it, and then we brought it under our umbrella this last year. And so currently we have an advisory council of about 8 different employers, which make up like John Deere, Advanced Heat Treat. I'm going to forget them now that I started naming them, but there's about 8 different employers in the area, and they're an advisory council that really give Kelsey some great input on what that group needs. Membership for that and new membership for CVYP launches tomorrow. So we are excited to see kind of where that goes with CVMA to see the engagement. But we've had a lot of different companies that have been engaged in that work that weren't in the past. So it's been really exciting to see that. And then the last thing that I'll mention is we call it a workforce ecosystem, but what that means is essentially there's all kinds of people doing work in the workforce space in this community. So schools are a huge one. They're developing the future leaders. There's lots of nonprofits that are doing work with workforce, education or training. And so what we really try to do is work with all of those entities and convene them when necessary, bring together the work, and make sure people are aware of all the different things going on in this community. And also that could be involvement that looks like Kelsey's on a couple different boards. She's on the Waterloo Career Center Advisory Council. She's on the CAPS board. I'm a part of the board for Cedar Valley SHRM, which is the Society of HR Management. We're just trying to make sure that we're aware of things going on in the community with workforce so we can bring together the right people. So that's it for me. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Stephanie.
That's really it for our update from last year. As we are looking, Steph alluded, we're working the Count Me In study into our 5-year framework, and we have decided on our priorities for this next year that are going to include things like a regional dashboard, which we intend to be a system of metrics that allow all of us to understand where we are with critical issues in the community so that we can be able to assess what our progress looks like, but also continue to assess where there are gaps and we need to step in and figure out where we need to take different kind of action. Some additional priorities in this next year are going to include much more effort in understanding the workforce of our immigrant and refugee population and how our employers are engaging right now with our immigrants and refugees, and also a better understanding of how our immigrants and refugees are engaging, with work here in our community, and to understand if there's opportunities to create greater career pathways. So that's a project we're excited to undertake. A couple others include the development of a small business resource hub. We want to create an information hub for our small businesses. So if they're looking to understand, how do I utilize AI in marketing for my business, for example, they can go to that hub and they can find the resources that they need to do so. That's just 3 of the 9 priorities that we have. So it's going to be a busy year, but we feel like it's important that we undertake this work alongside our community partners to keep moving this community forward. Ultimately, our goal with this work, with the population study, is to grow our workforce population. And we believe that we've got the right strategies over the course of the next 5 years to do that. So with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about the work that we presented on or the organization in general.
Thanks for setting up, giving me some of the time last week. It was beneficial, so I appreciate that.
Absolutely. No, we appreciated the time and would offer that to anybody that has an interest in learning more. We'd be glad to sit down and just provide an overview of everything we've got going on.
I just have a question. I guess you mentioned on the 3 of the 9 priorities, is that to initiate 9 priorities this year or to initiate and complete them this year? These will...
Yes, they'll be initiated and completed this year.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, and then each of those have plans to build upon in the coming years. Some will take the full 5 years and some will take a couple of years to kind of get going at the level we want. The regional dashboard, for example, is one that we want to get up to where it is a usable dashboard this year. I would anticipate over the next 5 years, we'll continue to build upon it, grow it, make sure that we're really using that as a tool that all of us can look at and use in our decision making.
Well, that was what a question I did have as far as the types of things you'll be kind of hoping to take from that when you say like the information that you'll be inputting and then the concerns or things that change.
Yeah. So what I'm anticipating with the regional dashboard is that a really important part of that process is going to be understanding and kind of developing what are those core metrics that we want to track that are going to be beneficial for the broader community to have an understanding of where we're at. So that won't be done just by Grow Cedar Valley. I would anticipate we'll bring in community partners to sit down and really talk through, as the county, what are things that you're looking at that help you determine the health of the county and where we need to be going. I would anticipate there could potentially be things like median wages. We want to understand, is that something that's changing or is it staying the same in the community? access to different programs. You know, what does childcare access, transportation look like? There could be any number of things on this, and so we want to be really intentional about figuring out what the appropriate metrics are. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katie.
Yeah,
nothing
thanks
else.
very much for coming today and kind of closing up the year for you, and like I said, and giving this report for the year end for this, so thanks so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for the time.
All right, moving on to item 4, claims and payments. This is a resolution that the Board of Supervisors approve expenditures and that the county auditor be authorized and directed to issue payments against the various settlement of such claims as allowed.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Weidner.
All right, good morning, Board. Our total bill payment today is $1,685,806.01. The 60/40 fund, we're paying $3,665.13. And payroll today is $1,694,148.83. That was a little bit larger bill payment than we see sometimes. Some of the larger payments in here today, we are making a payment to Peters Construction for the public health renovations of $449,074.68. We are paying for a dump truck that I understand is going to be picked up today in the amount of $132,012, but that's for the road department. And then the road department also has a very large construction payment today to ASPRO, total of $897,073.65. That is for the Raymond Road paving. That seems to be all the larger ones, so everything appears to be in order. Any questions for me today?
This is a resolution, please answer as your name is called.
Grant,
Yes.
Kurtenbach,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Item number 5, receive project updates from department heads and elected officials.
Good morning, Board. Kathy Nicholas, engineer. Our bridge crew continues to work on the Hoff Road Bridge Replacement Project. They've removed the old structure. They've got the pile driven on one side of the bridge, and now that was with our new diesel hammer, and they have moved on to the other side of the bridge. I don't recall if it's the north or the south side that they have completed. We are continuing to haul mile rock in the northwestern townships of the county. And then we, as Finance Director Weidner alluded to, we are taking possession of our newest single-axle dump truck, and that was awarded last July 1st, so it's taken just about a year to get that dump truck. Can I answer any questions at this time? Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Justin's out of luck if he's got any, so thank you.
Gabby DeWitt, Marketing Coordinator. I just wanted to, since it's the last day of June, highlight some of the things that we've done this month in June. We've attended 2 parades, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but since we weren't doing any parades last year, we started it last year. We had about 20 to 25 people with their family members participate. We did the My Riley Days parade at the beginning of the month, and then just did Sturgis last weekend and had a really good time. And a lot of different representatives from across different departments, so they all get a chance to meet each other, and they've not ever worked together before, and we're all helping public health pass out toothbrushes, which I don't know how many times just on Saturday I heard, toothbrushes, that's a great idea, as we're following behind everybody that's passing out candy. That's why we're public health. And then also attended Juneteenth celebration as part of that committee the weekend before. So it's been a busy June. We do have one more parade, and I'll be sending out something to staff if they hadn't signed up because it was too far out before, but we are attending the Hudson Days Parade on July 18th, and then I'm fairly certain that Yolanda is planning to have the Veterans Van in the Summer Soul Classic the week before that. So, any questions?
Were the 20 to 25 that participated the same 20, they just repeated Waterloo Days?
No, we had a really good representation from the attorney's office. And then it was kind of a mix. A couple people did both parades, but then there were other people who maybe weren't available for the first one that were for the second one, and vice versa. So no, it's been really great to get to see everybody interact with each other when they don't usually. Yeah. And Thank God, it's been good weather for both. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank
Okay.
Anyone else? Anyone online with an update? All right. Moving on to item 6, minutes approved for June 23rd, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, minutes are approved. Item number 7, we have a hearing later this morning, a bid opening, the purchase of steel for project L3031 Amesboro Avenue Bridge, number 7445. Item 8 is consent agenda. The following items are acted upon by a single resolution without separate discussion unless someone wishes to remove an item for discussion.
So moved. Second.
It's a resolution. Please answer as name is called.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Kurtenbach.
Yes.
Brant.
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Thank you. Item number 9, contracts and agreements. This is a resolution that the service agreement between Blackhawk County and Social Assurances LLC Lincoln for social media management and archiving in the amount of $8,500 be approved and that the chair be authorized to sign as recommended by Gabby DeWitt, Marketing Coordinator. And thank you very much. And if you would please, since that was our amended change to the
Yes,
agenda,
right.
just comment on that.
Yes, I can. So when I started talking with this company right after our current platform had doubled the price, and we had talked about trying to find something that was more cost effective and also efficient. Right now, we are paying for a social media platform, but we are also paying for social media archiving, which is required because in case our social media would be called as a public record, it just protects us. And so when we started doing that, we started putting together the pricing, but in that time, Public Health added another page. They have that Thrive group now, and I completely overlooked one of the conservation pages, and so that was the result of the increase at the last minute. But the social assurance will allow for streamlined social media scheduling across the county, greater efficiencies than our current platform, streamlined branding and asset management. You can take pictures out in the field and add branding out in the field so that it looks like it's our picture. We can add our logo to it. And then also it provides human support instead of AI support. I haven't talked to a human at our current location. But like during budgeting, I projected that it was going to save the county $5,500, but it's actually going to save the county $6,500 because our archiving was going, if we don't cancel it, will go up $2,000 this year also. So this platform will do both archiving of the social media as well as allow us scheduling and maintain all of our assets so that everybody can get to them.
We need a motion for you to ask questions.
Do what?
Do we need a motion on this? Moving
I
forward?
mean, it's good for the discussion. I was going to say to do the resolution, yes.
I'm going to make a motion first
All right,
to accept this.
you second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Second.
you can ask questions.
And then Gabby, just because this is a big issue that's going on in the community right now and across the state, any idea what data center this information is being kept at?
I know that if I remember right, it was like at AWS, is that right? The Amazon Web Service, and all the data is kept in the United States.
Okay.
And it met the compliance that the sheriff's office needed because they were the sheriff's office was the first to have the archiving, and then we added all the other pages as we started being more active on them. Is it like CGIS? Yeah. I'm speaking about data stuff I don't know. But yeah, so it has the security compliance that the sheriff's office required as well.
I just want the community to know that we have needs for data and archiving like this, and that there's a need for data centers to hold this information. So with a lot of opposition going on right now, this is part of why they're needed.
Okay.
An educational time for Dave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Duly noted.
Thank you. Yes, so noted.
But in all honesty, this is a fraction of the data of what's driving the need for data centers. So that's really not a strong point. Like, this isn't AI-driven data centers that are,
Well,
you know,
right, and actually, our current platform just put out a update that is a lot more AI integrated, that both Micah and I were like, ooh, we didn't care for it. So, that one thing I have really appreciated is, I mean, we've been doing these conversations with social assurance for the last 6 months, and we've talked with people all the way through, and and they're going to do assuming that it gets passed, they're going to do an onboard training for us, and then ongoing for staff who use it as well.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Or sidebar comments?
Excellent work, Mr. Witt.
Yes. All right, this is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Brant.
Yes.
Kurttenbach.
Yes.
Schwartz.
yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Item 10, other business. A resolution that the tax sale certificate assignment for lot parcel 8913-24-130-005, certificate 2009001152, owner Maxine Scott and located in Waterloo, Iowa, pursuant to code 446.31.
Linda.
Did I skip something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to have you read all that a second time.
Yeah.
But yeah, B at the top,
9B. The libraries.
library contract.
Oh, did I skip the good old library contract? Well, I could have finished this one first and gone back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
No.
We just wanted to hear you go through all of it again.
You should, yeah. You'll stop next time. Okay, we'll do this resolution for the contract for library services. I apologize to everyone. Between Blackhawk County and the Board of Trustees of the Public Libraries in the cities of Cedar Falls, Dunkerton, Evansdale, Hudson, Janesville, LaPorte City, and Waterloo, in total amount of $216,375 for fiscal year 2027 be approved and direct the chair to sign.
You're forgiven and so moved.
Second.
And I would just comment this, the contract, follows the same language as 2026. And it was, the total is a 3% increase from the prior year.
Thank you. I remembered that there was an increase. I couldn't remember for sure it was 3%. This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Brant.
Yes.
Kurttenbach.
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Should I just start where I left off?
I'd say
No,
yes.
never mind. Other business, a resolution that the tax sale certificate assignment for lot parcel 8913-24-130-005, certificate 20090001152, owner Maxine Scott and located in Waterloo, Iowa, pursuant to code of Iowa 446.31 be approved, and that said certificate of purchase of tax sale be assigned to Nicole E. Young Denton and Michael R. Denton as presented by Linda Hinsman, County Treasurer.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions for Linda? No?
Yeah.
This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Kurttenbach.
Yes.
Brant.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Item B, resolution to approve the establishment of a temporary 55-mile-per-hour speed limit on paved secondary county roads in Blackhawk County pursuant to Iowa Code 321.285 and 321.288 and consistent with Senate File 378 until the determination based on an engineering and traffic investigation indicates a speed limit which is reasonable and proper as recommended by Catherine Nicholas, County Engineer.
So moved.
Second.
Good morning again, Board. I wanted to take a few minutes to further explain this resolution. So you're probably aware that Senate File 378 changed the statutory speed limit on all paved roads. So this is state DOT roads as well as county roads that are paved in the state of Iowa to 60 miles per hour, and that is effective tomorrow, July 1st. The Iowa Code does allow Board of Supervisors working with the county engineer to implement lower speeds if an engineering study or a traffic study determines that a lower speed is needed, is justified. So we wanted to pause and have a chance to look at all of our 230 miles of paved county roads before we start putting up 60-mile-per-hour speed limit signs. We have been in consultation with the sheriff, and we feel that there are some segments that we want to study. We're just not sure that they should be 60 miles per hour. You should know that there are many things in roadway design that are determined from the speed limit, such as stop ahead placement distances. All of our driveway entrances, all of our driveway permits are issued on a sight distance that is based on the speed limit. The rumble strips, the pavement markings for the no passing zones, our curve signs, all of these are determined based on speed limit, the speed limit of the roadway. We would like to take some time to study, particularly our segments of roads for our speed limits as well as our curves, and come back to you with any resolutions if those are needed. We anticipate this is probably going to take 3 or 4 months for us to do this. We can do periodic updates, such as once a month, for example. We'll be coming to you with speed limit resolutions for those segments we would like to remain at 55 miles per hour. For example, this is what I'm anticipating, that there will be several segments that we would like to leave at 55 miles per hour. If they can be 60, we will definitely work on those and bring those to your attention and get those signs changed. Like I said, we have been in consultation with the sheriff's office, so I invite Jason if you want to make any comments.
Jason Tronis, Chief Deputy Blackhawk County Sheriff's Office. Yes, I was in the meeting with them. Sheriff Neff was, but he did wanted to put forth that he does support the traffic study, just to make sure that all our residents are safe as far as the roads that they travel on. Like she said, you know, the stop ahead signs, all those different things have a possibility need to be adjusted just because of the increase in the speeds. And over the course of when I was on patrol, worked several accidents, and when you increase the speed, it definitely increases the severity of the accident, even if it's a single vehicle accident versus a collision type thing. So I think it's a very serious thing to look into, and we do support Kathy's interest in the study.
What do we expect to gain from the study? You know, as far as moving signs, relocating rumble strips and things like that. I guess, what are we looking for? And what all is that going to look like?
So, for example, if there's a segment of road, for example, Cedar Wapsie and Wagner Road, we've talked to the sheriff about that intersection in particular. We have had several fatalities there in the last 10 years. We just want to take a look at that segment of Cedar Wapsie and look at the accident rate. That would mean if we wanted to keep that portion of Cedar Wapsie at 55, we would keep our signs at 55 miles per hour. Right now, we're not anticipating changing pavement markings or the pennants for the warning signs for the no passing zones. We've been working with Mike Trinan as well, as we may just take care of those types of things when we resurface a road. Like, we would change the pavement markings if we need to. The rumble strips might be changed when we resurface a road. Those are things that would take years to change because it's going to be expensive, and we're not going to go out and restripe everything next year with a new with a different length if that's needed. We don't even know about a lot of that stuff yet. We're primarily talking about getting the speed limit signs changed and the curve signs. If a warning sign needs to be placed now because there's a higher speed limit, for example, at Wooster, just south of Jessup, the Union Road curves, we want to take a look at. There's probably half a dozen locations in the county that we would just like to take a closer look at. We're not quite comfortable with everything being a 60 mile per hour blanket zone. There are some roads that definitely, yes, can be converted to the 60 mile per hour zones, probably in the southern part of the county for sure, like Eagle and Rhinebeck Road, Eagle and Tama roads.
Okay, so for those, as of tomorrow, or whenever you guys get the signs changed, some will go into effect at 60 immediately? Or are we looking at holding everything?
By immediately, I mean like within a month or two. I would advise the public to go by the signing that is out on that roadway. And that's what the DOT is saying in their public information, go by the posted speed limit, because some cities and counties and even the DOT, it's going to take us a while, meaning a few months, to get this conversion done. Don't assume it's 60 miles per hour when the sign still says 55 on the road. As we understand it, that's what the sheriff is going to be enforcing, is the posted speed limit.
Yes, because the default might be 60, but anything posted, so if it was 35 mile an hour speed limit, it's 35. But
Yeah.
that's the way I would take it.
I sat in on the meeting with Kathy and Nate and the others, and we kept coming up with more roads that were concerns. There's different areas in the county that, it's just 5 mile an hour, but that's 5 mile an hour faster for vision, control in some of the corners, and just safety concerns for the people that live in blind driveways. So we have more of those. There's just a lot of things that need to be looked at instead of just saying, all right, we're just okaying this at 60. So as I understood this is keep everything at 55 until they get a chance to review and bring to us road by road what we can turn over that we feel very comfortable moving it to 60 mile an hour.
And again, those speed limits are ideal conditions as well, you know.
Yeah.
Some people think, I go 60 and then all of a sudden they're.
Don't forget the 10 mile over rule, right? It's
Right.
5, but it's really 10.
Right, that's
So,
what they think.
yeah. That's what they think.
Well, and we have to me, then the safer rulings in place now until we decide to make that determination instead of trying to adjust them the opposite way. So to me, it's the better as far as for the citizens that you're looking out for. It's the safety of people that we're really supposed to be considering here. To me, and enforcement was part of the problem that I had concerns with. It also was the fact, the confusion of the various counties all doing different things at different times. And thank you to the state of Iowa for picking the busiest time of the year for our departments that work in these areas for enforcing this to do it July 1. But, it's kind of another one of those timelines that we have to meet the timeline regardless of what has to be done. So I appreciate the fact that you're taking the time, the 3 or 4 months or whatever it is, to look at them and evaluate them and really overall for the safety of the residents is what we're trying to do. So thank you.
I would also say a couple other things. One is the speed limit on the gravel road system has not changed, and that is in the code of Iowa, that it is 55 miles per hour during the day from sunrise to sunset. But then after sunset, it goes to 50 miles per hour in the night hours. So that did not change by this Senate File 378. So again, please obey the posted speed limit signs.
And I brought that up, Justin. We had the problem south of Washburn, the guy calling, concerned about travel or speed limit on that gravel road. So that was brought up in our conversation as well.
There again, it's kind of an enforcement issue when you're there and you can catch people doing it, but otherwise, speed limit's what it is. Yeah, thank you. Thank you both. Thank you for the sheriff's department being part of it too.
Thank you, guys.
Kathy, I know it would be hard to track because, as you said, this will be multiple years before all the infrastructure would be changed to adjust to 60 miles, such as rumble strips and the signs that you cited. But I'd be curious of just like what the cost of implementing this new law change is for us.
Oh, I agree, Chris. Yeah. Everybody's out kind of monitoring how much money we spend and telling us how much money not to spend and finding ways for us to spend money. So, yep, thank you.
I think in a few months, excuse me.
I was gonna say, I think a lot of people would just without knowing more about it, would just assume that you just gotta change the speed signs, but not really thinking about how speed factors into all the other infrastructure parts.
And cost. Yep.
Right.
Right. Thanks. Kathy, what do you want to say?
In a few months, as we're working through this, we should be able to come up with a better idea of the cost. Like we said, most of the minor changes will probably, in consulting with the attorneys, we feel it's probably just best to take those in, make those changes as we resurface our roads. If we see a problem intersection, for example, or rumble strips, if we would see a future issue with more crashes at an intersection, maybe we would go and make that change. If we've changed the speed limit and we see an increase in crashes, maybe we would make the change in the rumble strips the next year, for example. So some of this will just be a wait and see.
So as you do a priority list or however you work through this, maybe it'd be good, like an update from you.
Yes, we will meet later in the week to start strategizing which roadways we want to work on first, and then we'll keep the board and the sheriff's office updated.
And maybe be able to use Gabby's assistance, I guess, was trying to alert the
Yes.
public to some of the stuff that's going on, so.
Yeah, that's a
They're
great
aware.
idea. Yes.
With 63 going south of Hudson, that one is going to stay at 55 too, until at least in the foreseeable future.
It's DOT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Or
know.
we're-
I can't.
Okay, or we're just talking,
60, yeah.
okay,
Right, we only have jurisdiction over
gotcha.
the county roads. And there may be some conflict. Canfield Road is a good case where a portion of that road is DOT road and a portion of that road is county jurisdiction. So we'll keep all this in mind as we think about that roadway in particular.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kathy.
Yep, thank you. This is a resolution. I don't believe we've answered that. Please answer as your name is called.
Kurttenbach,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Item C, resolution designating the vestibule at the east side entrance to the Blackhawk County Courthouse, 316 East 6th Street, Waterloo, Iowa, as the official posting location for public meeting notices and on the county website at blackhawkcounty.iowa.gov under the link Agendas and Minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Who wants to comment on this wonderful July 1st?
Well, I guess I will. This is another one of those state mandates that they said we need to post an official, or designate an official location for meetings effective July 1st. So that's why you're seeing it today. These will be just taped to the vestibule for now. We're exploring other options, whether we find some proposals to bring you, that will be at a later date.
Yep, thank you, appreciate that. Scotch tape works rather well for me when we're looking at, again, being told by the state legislature that we need to stop spending money, and I don't see that we would want to put a lot of money into this, but thank you.
could be any tape, not just Scotch tape.
No duct tape.
Lots of
I'm
good
open to
tapes out there.
anything, yeah. I'm with any kind of paper, yeah.
Can I also just add, because I just think it's important with this bill, it's, the verbiage in there is visible at all times. And so I think that that's
24/7
what's
kind of a thing, right?
driving,
Yes.
that this is not visible at all
We have so
times
many
right
people
outside the
that pull
door.
up to our doorway and look for that agenda, yeah.
Uh,
But I
so
would
is
be
this
happy
go-
to comply.
Is this going to be inside when you come in and visible from the outside if you're walking? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
so you
that's,
walk up to the door and you can
that's-
see it, yeah.
yeah, that's the idea, because,
Good tape.
Karen's right. The whole point is it's got to be visible at all times. So you're going to have to be able to see it from outside, because we don't have a vestibule that people can come into when we're
We
closed.
see all the people that take and stop and look at that agenda. I'd just love to monitor that for the fun of things. You understand, yeah. All right, this is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called. Thank
Schwartz,
you.
Yes.
Kurttenbach,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Is there anything else July 1 we needed to do? I hope those were the only two. Great. Item D, resolution that the 2026-27 property casualty and liability insurance coverage and risk management services renewal, as recommended by PDCM Insurance with primary coverage through the Iowa Communities Insurance Pool in the amount of $948,399, which is a 6.1% increase, plus an amount not to exceed $30,000 for additional $2 million cybersecurity coverage be approved, and direct the chair to sign as recommended by the Insurance Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so.
Chair, I was going to say, you want to
Yes.
comment on this?
Yes, the insurance committee met with our broker, PDCM, last Tuesday to find out what our renewal cost was going to be, and we also discussed some other coverages. The $948,399 does include, that's generally 1 year of coverage, but it does include a 3-year policy for pollution remediation. That total cost is $48,669 for the whole 3 years, so it's only about $15,000 a year. And that covers things we just don't know about today, sewer overflows that somehow affect someone, or just mold is a popular one apparently now in other locations, just things like that. So that is our basic coverage. Then we talked during the meeting, Attorney Trinan brought up concerns about cyber, and an issue that has come up in other locations in the state is people getting scammed about ACHs. So they send you a change, bank account change, and you do it because you think you're hearing from the right person. So we were concerned about that coverage. We did ask them if they could quote some excess cyber insurance. We had $1 million coverage in that main package. They did find a carrier called Coalition Insurance that would provide what's called excess insurance coverage. It would be an additional $2 million. And we had asked the not to exceed $30,000. The premium amount is actually $28,106.60, if the board is interested in all that. It does seem like that is an area that it's the hot area of where things can happen today.
So all of it right now is the 948,000.
You'd have to add
Plus the 28
yeah,
one.
yes, I'd approve the 28 or not to exceed 30, whichever you prefer, separately, as it's in addition to the 948.
You could just.
I do think that the additional cyber insurance is good. I mean, there was the kind of well-documented case in Dubuque County. There was a very significant chunk that was transferred over and just lost. And so I know we've got really competent people and great safeguards, but the scammers are very cunning as well.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions, or is there?
I guess I agree with Chris. I think we need to add the additional just for safeguard.
Well, and you can do it in the two separate amounts for the resolution too. You don't have
Yes.
to add the total or anything, and just do the one for the increase plus an amount for the additional cyber. Keep it easy.
Yeah, I would prefer that.
I was reading it was all included, so.
No, the 948 is separate for the ICAP pool. And the amount of that increase, then the additional is the plus the cyber, because we looked at that differently in the insurance, because it was not to exceed, and we wanted to make sure that was kind of discussed at the end of the meeting. But it was a separate item and not to put it into our.
Yeah, because they actually hadn't brought us a quote for that.
No.
So they had to go out
The
and.
28-1 though that we would.
Yes, that is an actual quote now. Yep.
Does Al have anything he'd like to weigh in on this, or no?
That we're in danger.
I can. Ali, IT Director. I was not involved in the original meeting with the policy, so I'm coming.
And you
this
didn't
is new
meet
to me
with
too.
Mike, and you didn't meet with Mike Trinan either. He was kind of the one
did
who
not.
said was kind of, no.
I mean, I will always say this, the bad guys are getting craftier. There are safeguards we can always put in place. There's no one foolproof thing that will protect us from everything. I will say that with the conference I just came back from, the deepfakes are getting incredibly realistic. Like, The things we tell people is always check with the other person if you get a request like an ACH request. And then not only call them, but also get on a video call with them. There is deep fakes that are faking the video calls. So you think you're actually talking to the person, it is not a real person. And so it's getting very, very good. And yeah, there's nothing that can really save you after something like that happens when you disperse the funds. Then you have to look at insurance. So I'm not going to say that increasing the coverage is a bad idea. I just want to make sure that it's a decision that you guys are comfortable with, because it does equal increased premiums too to come along with it. But it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of,
I'm not
protection.
uncomfortable with either of those increased premiums, so yeah, if that's the
Yeah.
question you want to
So-
have. So, but
Yeah, and really, I'm not an expert as to what the value of damages are. Like I've always said, our goal is to I can't say never. It's always, it's not a matter of if and when. We're going to get attacked at some point. That's just how it is. And so we just got to be prepared for it and try to mitigate the damage as much as possible. So I can never promise you that we will never get a breach incident, because it's bound to happen at some point. It's just how well do you react to it. So I will always hope to not have to use insurance as a plan B to recover. But like I said, it doesn't hurt to have more coverage. And that coverage doesn't also necessarily mean damages, it also means assistance. So we can also leverage the assistance of what that company can offer in terms of mitigation.
Yeah, I'm not aware of the Dubuque County one.
That was
Oh,
big.
that's very well documented.
Yeah.
Apparently I live under a rock. But,
They'll be glad to hear it didn't hit everyone's news.
yeah,
refresh his memory a little
It was over $500,000 that was dispersed by ACH. It actually was
the county,
from the county, and it was,
From the
well,
city.
yeah, city, I'm sorry, not, well,
Oh.
no,
Dyersville requested, it came through ARPA funds. There was a request from Dyersville for the ARPA funds that was housed with the county.
yes,
And then they
Yeah, county.
was
They
the
said we
county.
want it to go to another entity, and so the county released those funds to Dyersville, but it did not go to Dyersville, it was to a scammer. And it was a few years ago, but
Yeah, it's been a couple,
okay.
but
but
there
it
are,
had the same email address. It was pretty sophisticated.
and our broker told us he's aware of 2 clients of his that have had a similar issue. It was only 300,000 among the 2 of them, but that's happened in the last year.
Are they're locally, those
Yes.
clients?
I understand that, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know about Waterloo local,
Right,
but,
just what statewide.
but yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think in the Dubuque one, even the end user followed the right steps to check, but it was such a sophisticated phishing attempt. It went through, so let's see. That's the nature of the game. The bad guys are getting really good, so yeah. Always got to be vigilant.
I'd like to see horrible things happen to those people.
Me too.
I don't disagree. I want to see some really, but
Dubuque
yeah.
could probably help with that.
I won't go on the record and say what, but
They're usually not of this country, so that's why we
Yeah.
kind of have no jurisdiction to answer.
Pretty limited, yeah.
Yeah.
all right, I'm satisfied.
Okay, this is a resolution then. Please answer as your name is called.
Brandt,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Kurtenbach,
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Item E, motion that the county auditor be authorized and directed to transfer $125,000 from the general supplemental fund to the self-insurance property liability fund for fiscal year '26 as recommended by the insurance committee.
So moved.
Second.
Michelle, you want to comment on this?
Okay, certainly. This is another action being recommended by the insurance committee. We typically, the self-insurance fund doesn't levy taxes, so it has to come from the other fund. This will cover payment of deductibles. So I mean, one that happens unfortunately a lot that's beyond our control is sheriff's deputy vehicles. You know, they're responding to a call, another vehicle hits them. We end up having to replace a vehicle. We use this to fund the deductibles for all those kind of things.
And we've done it for years.
We've done it for years.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting that we change the amount. I think that amount's fine. So that would be the fund we have to cover. Also, the deductibles for the hail damage, that storm, that will come from there. So.
No more questions?
None.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item F, motion to approve the fiscal year 27 ICAP member proxy form listing Michelle Weidner and Lori Wormers as member liaisons and direct the chair to sign for signature.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Time is 10:25. The hearing bid opening on the proposed purchase of steel for Project L-3031 Amesboro Avenue Bridge, number 74445. Motion to receive and place on file proof of publication, June 13, 2026, of notice of public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 2, motion to close the hearing after oral and written comments are received.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Showalter, any written comments? Thank you.
Are we on 3 or
I'm sorry?
have we moved on to 3?
Yeah, that's,
Ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I guess I didn't take the, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Thank you, Kathy. Bids to be received, open and read. Deadline was 3 o'clock on Monday, June 29, 2026.
Okay, we did receive one bid, and the engineer's estimate is $71,450. And our one bid comes from Odin, Odin Enterprises Incorporated, Wahoo, Nebraska. Their bid is $96,595.28. 96,595.28.
Thank you, that was it, only one. All right. Motion that the Board of Supervisors review and place on file the bids to allow time to review said bid as recommended by Catherine Nicholas, County Engineer.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Kathy. Item number 11, reports or information from the board. Just a reminder that July 7th, the next is, we have our action committee groups, hopefully, and everybody gets to hear those next week. And I believe I also saw Cattle Congress has got, I think, I saw Tavis say motion or discussion, possible board action, but I think they're just coming to make a presentation kind of for their request for funding for Cattle Congress marketing next week.
Okay.
So,
I was wondering about that.
yeah, because we haven't heard anything from them since, and I think there's been a lot of things going on with Cattle Congress, so get an update somewhere. All right, anything, Chris, from you on an update or anything?
No, but I want to clarify, do we need, I wanted to make sure that that extra cyber insurance was included. Do we
Yes.
Do we need a separate action next week, or was that included in that resolution?
No, it was included with both
Okay.
items as listed, so,
Okay, very good.
thank you. All right, ready to adjourn?
Well,
Motion to adjourn?
can I just remind everyone, with the holiday this Friday, agenda items are due tomorrow. Actually, that's early for everybody, tomorrow by noon, to give us time to get that out Thursday.
Big celebration, the 250th, coming up this weekend too, so, great. Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thanks, man. Thank you, everyone. Meeting's adjourned.